We use all kinds of measuring tools in everyday lives: rulers, protractors, squares, and tape measures, etc. This works fine for small and medium projects. But what if we need to lay out something big, like roads, bridges, dams, and pipelines? Here comes land surveying. It is the process of measuring and mapping out the position, dimensions, and features of a specific piece of land. In this video, we will explore how to approximately measure a specific area without a measuring tool. But how will we do that? First, you have to know your pace factor. Before knowing our pace factor, we have to first measure the tape distance that we are going to pace. Our target tape distance is 70 meters from point A to point B. The next step is to walk normally from point A to point B. Take note that your height is one of the factors that affects your pacing. By the way, this is Jayeth Gail S. Baquing as our model, walking normally on the tape distance that we measured. Her height is around 1.60 meters. While you watch her walking, let me tell you about what is pace factor. The pace factor, also known as pace length or pace count, it is a measure of how much distance you cover with each step or pace. It is typically expressed as the distance, usually in feet or meters, that you cover in a single pace or double pace. In this video, we use double pace factor. It is the distance covered in two steps, the left foot to the left foot or right foot to right foot. This is more commonly used because it averages out variations in stride length, making it more consistent. Why do we need to know our pace factor, or what is the purpose of pace count or pace length? This serves several important purposes, especially in fields like navigation, surveying, and outdoor activities. Your pace factor allows you to estimate distances by simply counting your steps. Once you know your pace factor, you can multiply the number of steps you've taken by your pace factor to determine the distance you've traveled, which is typically or particularly useful in navigation and distance measurement when precise tools are unavailable. This process is repeated 5 times to get the mean of her pacing before calculating her pace factor. Pacing from point C to D is the opposite of pacing from point A to B. Point A to B starts from measuring the tape distance first before calculating the pace factor. However, point C to D begins by starting from a random point using your pacing before calculating the pace distance. Afterward, we checked the pace factor from point A to B and point C to D if they are similar for its accuracy. For the error, we use the formula of margin of error to see or identify how many % of error we made in the experiment. This process is also repeated 5 times, and the pace distance we get from calculation is 28.44 meters. The pace factor from point A to B and point C to D are just similar, which is 0.6. Let me explain what is a pace distance. Pace distance, often referred to as pacing in navigation or surveying. It is the distance covered in a certain number of paces or steps. It is commonly used to estimate distances when more precise measuring tools are unavailable. Pace distance can vary based on the individual's height, stride length, and terrain. In practice, people often calibrate their pace over a known distance to estimate how many paces it takes them to cover that distance, which they can use then to estimate other distances by counting their steps.
周りが